What's up, everybody? Are you gifted in many areas and you just can't figure out how or what to focus on in your life and make it your main thing? Well, I'm glad you tuned in to the Greatness Show today because I'm the Greatness Coach Chris Johnson, showing you how to pick one thing and go deep in it. This is the Greatness Show. Let's do it. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Greatness Show with the Greatness Coach Chris Johnson. Recently, I was speaking with a group of people, and I began to share with them about a passage in the Bible that really sparked my interest. In Luke chapter 5, the Bible says that Jesus is speaking to his disciples. They were fishermen by trade, and they had just fished all night and didn't catch a thing. And Jesus tells them, launch out again, but this time, launch into the deep. And the Bible says they caught so many fish that their nets began to break. Same boat, same fishermen, same body of water. What changed was the depthness. And I thought that really stuck hard and heavy with me because I believe that many of us have been fishing in our lives in shallow water on shallow things. Just because you're good at something does not mean that's what you should be trying to go deep in. And many of us have had shallow things around us and we've only made it to the edge of the shore with it. I want to show you some very practical principles on how you can choose what to go deep in. Because I hear you talking. Some of you are saying even to yourselves right now, I've got 3 things going on. And it seems like I just can't turn the corner. I just can't make it happen. Or I'm good at 5 things, average at about 2 of those. I believe I can sing. I believe I can write. I believe I have a certain skill set. Or I believe I'm very talented in this area, but I really don't see it being productive for me like it should. Well, maybe you shouldn't be going deep in those areas, or maybe you're going shallow in too many things. I've often said this: if you have 5 targets and you only have about 10 arrows, you have lessened your chance to hit a target. But if you just aim at one target with 10 arrows, 9 times out of 10, you can stick at least half of those on that target. Some of us are just wasting time and energy. So how do I make the decision to go deep in one thing? I want you to ask several questions to yourself about whatever it is you're trying to discover, what you're doing now or what you are making a decision to do in the future that you can potentially go deep in. Question number one is, does it make me come alive? I believe what Howard Thurman says really carries weight. Howard Thurman says this: don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. There should be one thing in your life, maybe 2 things, that makes you come alive. Your demeanor changes. It changes your countenance. It comes alive in you, which makes you come alive in this world. I believe if you find a way to do that, if it makes you come alive, nobody has to really pay you to do it. If it makes you come alive, nobody has to force you to do it. This is a part of what makes my life tick. Question number 2. Does it give you a sense of fulfillment? When you do it, do you feel like this is my purpose? I'm fulfilling my purpose on this planet. When I do this activity, when I put a pen to a paper, when I stand in front of a microphone, or I stand in front of a camera, or I'm motivating people such as myself, whatever it is that you do, Does it give you a sense of fulfillment? I'm trying to help you answer whether you should go deep in an area, if it makes you come alive, if you feel fulfilled doing it. Man, I believe you're right on track. Question number 3, can you do it without a sense of time? Listen, I will preach, pastor, motivate people, and get lost in it. You ought to have something in your life that really you lose time. You lose time in it. It's 8 o'clock and you look up and it's 12 o'clock because you got lost in your purpose. You got lost in your fulfillment. It ought to give you a sense that it does not matter how long it takes, whatever it takes, I'll do it because I know this is what I'm called to go deep in. Some of you go to a 9 to 5, or some of you are involved in activities. And while you're doing that activity, you're thinking about 5 other things that you really want to do, or you're thinking about one other thing that you really want to do. I would argue that maybe what you're currently doing is not what you should be going deep in. However, what you're thinking about while you're doing what you're doing should be what you should be going deep in. Making that decision to have fulfillment, making that decision to come alive, making that decision to get lost in time in what you do will help you be productive. Here's the biggest question is it fruitful? Are you making any money? Is it giving any kind of produce back to your life? Is it adding value to your life, right? Are you going to be able to generate wealth? Are you going to be able to take care of your family? Are you going to be able to pay your bills, right? Is the activity that you want to do, or you could potentially be doing, that you want to go deep in, is it going to allow you financial resource to continue to do that and do it bigger and better? Or is it paying you now? Could be minimum payment, but is it paying you now? Does it have the potential to pay you? Many of us, I've seen it both ways. Some people are doing things that they really should not be going deep in doing, and it turns out that it's making them a lot of money. But I want to tell you that money is not the only measurement. There's several ways that you can get a kickback for what it is you're doing. You can't measure it solely off money, because I know a lot of people who are making a lot of money who are unfulfilled. I know a lot of people who are making a lot of money, but they have no time. I know a lot of people that are making money and they are just as depressed as someone who wishes they had it. There's a balance. It's not an either or, it's a both and. Are you fulfilled and making money? If you can find that, are you coming alive and making money and taking care of your family and being able to pay off debts and bills? That's what you want. Here it is. Finally, are you good at it? Here, listen to me. Are you good at it? Be real with yourself. If you are a singer, will you buy your CD? If you're a writer, will you read your work? If you, whatever you do, are you a business executive? Would you fire you? The question that you have to ask is, are you simply good at it? Are you at least average at it? Give yourself somewhere to work. Are you great at it? Are you good at it? What kind of areas of improvement can you make? If you're not good, you probably don't need to go deep in it. Maybe you need to be a supporting cast. Maybe you need to be behind the scenes. These are questions that you have to ask. If you can answer yes to all of those questions, if there is a high probability that if your answer is yes to all of those questions, you need to pick that and go deep in it. And perhaps if you go deep in that, perhaps if you get all of the other shallow things out of your life and say, I'm going to focus on this right here and go deep at it, perhaps, my friend, you can be great, and perhaps you can find significance for your own life. This has been the Greatness Coach, Chris Johnson, on The Greatness Show, pushing you to discover what to go deep in it. Hey, go deep. Well, hello. Greatness coach Chris Johnson here, coaching you to be great in every area of your life. I'm so excited today because for at least 32 years of my life, I shared the wisdom of my late father, T.P. Johnson Sr., on how to be a man. My brother and I have learned valuable lessons over the years as it relates to manhood from this great man that was in our lives. I still hear lessons from my father even today. I did not have to look outside of my house to find a model for manhood. Well, over the years, that even those lessons I've heard from my father and the lessons I've had to learn on my own, I wanted to make sure that my sons would also have a healthy model for manhood. Like so many of you, I struggled with how do I take all of the valuable lessons that I've learned, package them up so that my sons would have something to look at. It's so much information. Well, I've taken the liberty to sit down and put together a coaching course on how to help you strategize as far as putting your manhood model on paper so that your sons, so that men in your community, so your nephews, all of the young men you mentor will know how to be a man on one sheet of paper. This is interesting because I believe that in today's culture, young men are searching for identity. Young men are searching for ways to find relevance in their own selves. I believe that this course is a step toward giving them healthy manhood models. Visit my website at www.cajohnson.org. Click on the link that says Academy and find this course on manhood called Great Men. I believe that everyone can be great, and it starts with great men.